for these and they're not working. Some more earbuds, they're not working. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
I guess I'm gonna have to do it without earbuds.
All right.
Because neither one, the beats won't connect or
Right.
they can't hear me.
Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straight Line Performance and Automotive and Scotty Wheels Racing. Your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys. Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straight Line Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline, STR8LINE, Performance, &Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great edition of Racers News Network Live. We got kind of a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, today was the funeral for well-known racer and promoter Kyle Seipel. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We have results from this past weekend's events. We have Norwalk. We also have Nessa at the Valley, and we have PDRA at Budds Creek. We have joining us tonight, though, down in my bottom left, Jerron Settles. I said it right, didn't I? I said it right.
Did it right.
And then directly below, so this is like a bad Brady Bunch thing, is Steve Rhoads eventually. And then, of course, over here, the man, the myth, the mighty legend, talking about Pete Senka. Scott is supposed to be here in a little while. Jerron, I know you were anxious to smack him around a little bit. There he is, from his plush office on his 100-acre estate in the great state of Pennsylvania. Rhoads, bottom left. Unmute yourself.
There we go.
There he is. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. It's Speed Week here in Pennsylvania for dirt racing.
Oh, Grandview, right?
No, we're at Lincoln tonight. Grandview tomorrow.
All right. Cool. So while they get settled in, Pete, let's go ahead and we'll hit the results from Norwalk. You have the .90 stuff.
I have the .90 stuff. At Norwalk National Event, Super Street wasn't contested, so we have the results from both Super Comp and Super Gas. John LaBouche Jr., a name you might have heard once or twice in your life. He defeated Allison Prose. Did I say that right? Yeah. Yep. Allison went red, which pretty much gave LaBouche the green light to leg it out. And he went 883 with a 6 at 181.47. Super Gas, Jeremy Mason with a beautiful Chevy Tube Nova runs 997 with a 9 to defeat Jason Kenny, who also red lighted. That was it for my portion of the Norwalk National Event. Off to you, Chris.
All right. Factory Stock Showdown. Chuck Watson and the Ford Mustang took home the win. It seems like every time you factory super stock run, all you ever hear is, you know, who's going to be the manufacturer that gets the award from whoever to win this week. So it was Ford's week to win. Pro Modified, Jose Gonzalez defeated Brandon Snyder. Top Sportsman, presented by Vortex Superchargers, Kurt Frederick over Mike Badia. Top Dragster, a couple of names you've probably heard before. Alan Kenny defeated Anthony Bertazzi. Bertazzi was in line to try and get the double up again. Let's see. Stock Eliminator, another heavy favorite from Division 1, Joe Santangelo defeated Don Bells. Superstock, Anthony Bertozzi and his ever so faithful Pontiac Grand Am defeated Ricky Decker to take home the Superstock win. Again, Anthony went for the double up in Top Dragster and Superstock, but wasn't able to pull it off this time. Comp Eliminator, Bruno Massel driving a Chevy Cobalt defeated Ronnie Bond driving the Dragster. Top Alcohol, Funny Car, another Division 1 hot shoe. DJ Cox and his family-owned Chevy Camaro defeated Bob McCosh, also in a Camaro. McCosh red lit, or as Pete would say, lit the cherry.
Lit the cherry.
Lit the cherry. DJ's going to be headed back to Norwalk next weekend for the divisional race there. Top Alcohol Dragster, Matthew Cummings defeated another Division 1 hot shoe who's been on a roll this year as well, Karen Stalba. There was actually a really cool article on Drag Race Central that I posted about Karen Stalba. You know, she's doing an awesome job, and it seems like the girls pretty much own Top Alcohol Dragster this year.
Yeah, she's cruising. She had top ET of the round for a better portion of the show. The car's running good, team's running good. They're putting on a hell of a show.
Absolutely. And the last name Stalba, you know it's going to be a first-class operation as
Absolutely.
well. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Matt Smith over Steve Johnson. Pro Stock, Erica Enders in her awesome Chevy Camaro defeated Greg Anderson, her teammate, in a Chevy Camaro as well.
Do you have any numbers on that, Chris? Because I didn't see it.
For Pro
Did
Stock,
she outperform them, or did she whole shot them?
she ran a 6. I actually don't have the reaction time.
Yeah.
She was slower on the top end, a 660 with a 6 at 205.
Yeah.
To Anderson's 659 with a 4 at 206.
So baby whole shot. Good.
Yeah, I didn't get the reaction time. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, she pulled the 005 light.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's good because she's been struggling lately. Struggling in her terms. It would be a great weekend in my book, but for her, she's been struggling, and it's good to see her win on a whole shot.
Yeah, and I think Anderson was either in the high 20s or the low 30s on the tree. Funny Car, Cruz Petragon defeated Bob Tasker III. Again, another person from the great New England area, Bob Tasker III. Top Fuel, the man is on a roll. Steve Torrance defeated Brittany Force, and that is the Norwalk Nationals. Now, if you'll give me just one moment, I just got to switch over to this.
While you're switching over, I'll report Nessa from Lebanon Valley.
Pete, before you chime in for a second.
Absolutely.
Chris had mentioned a couple of divisional attributes. It sounded like a division which dominated with Santangelo, the Booze, Uzi, and Kenny winning those top tracks. Other than Jim, I think it was all on sports. Because Cummings won in McPhillips' card and Paul Dragster.
Are you? Is anyone else having trouble hearing him?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out.
You're cutting in and out.
Okay, cut me off.
I'm sure what you said is very valuable, but we didn't hear a damn thing.
Okay.
All right, I'll mute you for a sec. Let me just wave at me or whatever when you're ready, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go over to PDRA was at Budge Creek, Maryland this weekend. Pro Nitrous, I'm just going to hit, they have the top 14 posted in Pro Nitrous. I'm just going to go with the number one. A man that everybody should be familiar with. If you're not, Jim Halsey from Havre de Grace, Maryland, also known as the owner of Cecil County, took home another win in Pro Nitrous. I kind of got to go back and forth on this, so bear with me 1 second. Pro Boost, Johnny Camp from Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, in the 69 Camaro, took home the win. Extreme Pro Stock, J.R. Carr from the state of Washington took home the win in Extreme Pro Stock. Outlaw 632. Dylan Voss. Everybody knows the last name Voss. Some of the best turned out cars. Again, in Pro Outlaw 632. Pro Nitrous Motorcycle. Chris Garner Jones from Alabama in a 2011 Hayabusa. Pro Nitrous Motorcycle. Pro Street. Jesse Lambert from Virginia in an 04 Mustang took home the win. An Elite Top Sportsman, John Benoit from Montpelier, Vermont in his 17 Camaro. Also runs Division 1.
Yes, he does.
Brian Stultz from New Lebanon, Ohio in a 69 Camaro. And Top Sportsman.
Jerron just gave you the wave. Oh, you good?
Yep, there he's
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Elite Top Dragster. Peter Midori from Tonawanda, New York. And just regular old Top Dragster. Mike Kopko from Clinton, Pennsylvania. All these places must surround you, Rhoads. And Pro Junior Dragster. CJ Jenkins took home the win from Jamesville, North Carolina. And Pro Junior Dragster. Top Junior Dragster. Mallory Maddox from Virginia took home the win. And last but not least, Bracket Bash. And they're all broken down. Let's see. In the finals, it was Brianna Lucard against Nick Shirley, and Brianna took home the win in a 2017 S&W Dragster. Again, Brianna Lucard from Richmond, Virginia. So congratulations to everybody that won this past weekend. Jerron, go ahead and pick up where you left off, buddy.
I was just saying that you had mentioned that there was a couple Division I hot shoes at Norwalk, and I was just pointing out that pretty much it was a Division I sweep other than Jeremy Mason, Al Kinney and TT, Anthony Bertozzi and Joe Santangelo in stock, or super stock, one of those two, and LeBoos and super count. So and Matthew Cummings even driving Rich McPhillips car at Division I alcohol drag.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
They were all Division I hot shoes this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely represented this weekend, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I want to be curious to know how many of them are going back next week. Like I said, I know DJ Cox is making the trip back to Ohio.
Oh, what's the divisional race out there?
Divisional, yep.
Yeah, I guess it depends. You know, I'm running 7 now, so I haven't kept up with. But when's the next Division I race?
Next Division I race is the media. Steven, I'm sure you know what the dates are on that, right?
Yeah, it would be July, I believe, 22nd to the 25th.
Yeah. The good thing about that race is they're going to do a national open and a divisional on the same weekend,
Yeah,
which is
Thursday,
fantastic. If anyone's whining about making the drive out there, knowing that they're getting 2 races for one pull, there shouldn't be any complaints. That's for sure.
No, that was one of the good things about last year. If you could bring anything good out of last year, was that so many races were doubled last year.
Right. Yeah, we did it. Division I did it at Epping. They did a jegs race and a divisional back to back, and it was great. It's nice. I mean, not that you ever want to lose, but it's nice to know that after you lose, you don't have to pack all your stuff up and go home. You get to do it all over again.
Yeah. I think Division I did it twice. They did it at Epping and at Virginia last year. Double. and then D7 had a couple. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was what I liked about the old I-Tri days, is that most of their races were all doubles. It just made for a better tow, better experience. Like you said, you lose first round, you don't have to pack up and leave.
I will tell you that, and I'm gonna kiss Steve's butt a little bit since he's here, but I had a conversation with Dave Moan last year about why the hell don't you do more double races, because everyone loves them. And he made the comment of, watch all the personnel and watch how hard they work. And it's always in the heat of the sun. And you have very, very small margin for weather error or, track oil downs and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, you never think, I mean, you always think about it, but you never really think about it, how hard the crew has to work, track personnel, safety, safari, all the, medic, everybody. And when he mentioned that, I'm like, I mean, they're there for 4 days anyway. What the hell's the difference? And I paid attention, and I'll tell you what, you guys hustle. You work your butts off, and I could understand why every race isn't a double, because I think you guys would probably melt into the earth if it was.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, no doubt. I am going to get to Nesson real quick. Lebanon Valley had their third Super Street race. It was actually their second outing, but their first race was a double. So this is their third race, and all you need to know about this race is Sean Nichols. Anyone who's a regular at Lebanon Valley isn't surprised to hear this name, but he qualified number one. I would have to find out for sure, but out of the three races, I believe he qualified number one twice. And he also won the event. Kevin Billets got the bounty, beating Paul Panassa. Hopefully I said that last name right. If not, Paul, I apologize. And no one got the perfect run award. I shouldn't say perfect run, the 1090 with a 0 award. So that money is going to roll over to their next race. And I asked Kenny Van Gorder who Sean beat, and he responded with TJ. So I don't know who TJ is, so I'm going to say that Tommy Johnson Jr., because he doesn't have a funny car ride this year. He showed up at Lebanon Valley and lost in the final. That's what I'm going with. And that's it. That's from Nessa.
Cool. So one of the things we wanted to kind of talk about, and I know Jerron has some thoughts on this too, is well, actually everybody does. The Racing World lost Kyle Seipel last week. Also, unfortunately, over the weekend, Division I kind of got kicked in the whatnot. Mark Markow passed away from Markow Race Cars, and also Marty Reinhardt's business partner and just friend in general, and very well known in Division I also is, of course, I'm talking about Larry Guest.
Larry Guest,
yeah. Both passed away over the weekend. So Racing World kind of got kicked in the whatnot over the past 5-6 days.
Yeah. So one of the things, and you try and make a bad situation as good as you possibly can. I never had the privilege of meeting Kyle. I knew him as a guy that worked with Pete Biondo to promote races. But I never met him personally. I never knew that he was so good behind the wheel. So many people interacted with him, and for everything that I'm seeing is he was nothing but a gentleman. So I when something like this happens, I like hearing the stories about how he affected people's lives and the good that he did for the sport and promoting and all that stuff. It's like everyone, and I even did it with my Facebook picture, is, remembering Kyle Seipel, and so many people did it. And I could only contribute to that too, as him touching a lot of people's lives. So one of the things I did, knowing that Jerron knows him, was I asked Jerron to come on the show again tonight and give us some more feel-good information about the guy and and who he was and how he affected the sport?
You know, I met him probably 15 years ago when I first started sponsoring the spring fling stuff. I had heard about him, you know, growing up. He's a little bit older than me, but I remember seeing him in the national tracks in the super gas roadsters, his dad and mom's cars or whatever. And but from what the thing that I took the most from Kyle was that people that just met him, everybody I talked to that you know, let's say that they met him today, tomorrow they would feel like they were best friends with him, and that's how the guy made you feel. You know, you there's that term of, you know, he'd take give you the shirt off his back. That epitomized Kyle basically. I mean, you know, he was a monster on the racetrack, but he could help you if he was racing you. You know, I mean, it's just you can't. You know, everybody talks about, oh, this guy's a good guy, this guy's a good guy. Kyle was that guy. You know, just, you know, I would call him for just little stuff. You know, throttle stop tune up stuff or weather stuff. I mean, he helped me find hotels in Sonoma. You know, just little stuff. It didn't matter. You know, the guy was it's a huge hole in the sport with you know, with them gone, basically.
I thought you called me for throttle stop stuff. What, really? I didn't know I had a competitor out there.
Kyle actually helped Troy Williams beat me at Indy last year. Kyle was tuning Troy at Indy last year.
So that's when you called in the big gun for advice. Oh, okay, all right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how did him and Pete Biondo hook up as far as promoting races? Do you know anything about that?
You know, that I don't know. I know him and Pete were good friends for a long time. I want to say that if I had to make a guess, knowing these few guys personally, I believe that Pete met Kyle through Justin Land. Justin and Pete were good friends for a long time. Pete used to go out and drive his car and a lot. But Kyle and Justin they were different ages, but they kind of grew up together or whatever. And Kyle drove for Chris and Justin for a long time. So I'm pretty sure, you know, I apologize for not thinking about getting that information. I never thought about how they got together on that, but honestly, I'd have to assume it was through Justin and Peter.
I assume that Anthony Bartozzi probably knew Kyle pretty well too, just being involved with the crowd, right?
Yeah. Kyle was known for getting in anybody's car and winning, you know, and you know, so those guys, those winners kind of, you know.
Yeah. That's why me and you hang out so much. Yeah,
exactly.
All the winners hang out, all the people that suck hang out. Yeah, that's how it works.
We're backup bartenders at the first round lounge.
Yeah. What division? What part of the country did he run out of?
Kyle ran mostly Division 7.
Oh, okay. So he's a California boy or somewhere out there.
Yeah, grew up in California. I believe he started racing at the old Fremont Dragway where his mom was the track manager for a long time.
Oh wow, really?
And Kyle actually started out racing little mini bikes in like the Pro ET class, or I'm not sure exactly what it was called. It would be like our no box street or heavy or whatever.
Right.
You know, you had to have a driver's license to race a car, but you didn't have to have a driver's license to ride a motorcycle. So he rode a little mini bike. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he won a couple division championships with that little mini bike. And it just moved up into cars, and then he got into his mom and dad have I believe it's an Austin Keeley Roadster, and then I always want to call it a Ferrari. No, a Spider. But they're probably the two most well-known street roasters. Like they were street roasters before street roasters were popular.
Right.
Before anybody had a Corvette street roaster, Kyle was driving his mom and dad's cars, and was winning in super gas. I can't remember when his first national event was. I think his first national event was at Mona. I'm not sure, but he's definitely. I think he had 11 or 12 national event wins, but he had just numerous divisional and I think he had 7 or 8 division championships.
Right.
And so yeah, but that's where he started. Then he he got the job at Sonoma. His mom was the track manager there, and then he took over after her. So I mean, his drag racing lineage or sportsman lineage is unrivaled.
Yeah, yeah. So my funny Kyle Seipel story has nothing to do with me meeting him or knowing him, but naturally, when something unfortunate happens and someone passes, a lot of things surface.
Sure.
Well, one of the things that surfaced was a video of him and Pete Biondo having a grudge race, and you guys probably have seen it already. But for the people that haven't, the title of the YouTube video was Kyle Seipel Wreck and Run.
I actually videoed that.
Did you really?
That was actually my video, yeah.
So I had no idea, but I wanted to learn about the guy, so naturally I watched it. So I'm assuming they hopped into two other people's cars, right? Because they weren't their cars. So they get in, they each get one whack at the tree. So they literally do a burnout, stage the car, hit the tree, and then back up. And you can hear the announcer say, everyone on the starting line, they're backing up to take the tree. So get out of the way, right? So they didn't even do a burnout again, did they?
No.
No. So
they went back and shut the cars off, talked about dial-ins,
right. And the announcer was like, what was your light? And I was 4 red, but I got what it takes. Don't worry. And I'm going to rip his heart. And it was just, you knew that they were friends racing each other, but it was hysterical, right?
Yeah.
So Kyle Seipel gets a head start because he's got the slower car. And as they're going down the track, he makes a move for the center line like he's losing it. And Pete Biondo thinks he's going to hit him. So he straightens back out and takes the win. And the announcer lost his mind. It was the funniest thing I saw all week on YouTube. It was hysterical. Yeah. And they were calling it the wreck and run and how he, oh my God, it was funny.
I've got to take that back. The YouTube video might not be mine. I posted one on Facebook. I had like I videoed the whole thing from probably the 60 foot on the wall.
Yeah.
Everything. But yeah, he was driving Doug Turner's 63 Nova.
Right. One was a Nova.
And it was a blue Escort, I believe.
Yes. And the announcer kept going on about how he looked like a clown car in the car. And was there 4 people inside the car? And it was, if you guys have any time on your hands, go search that on YouTube because it is hysterical. Good stuff.
That was definitely one of the fun times. They used to do it a lot. They did it in Vegas. They did it 2 or 3 times in Bristol. They stopped after I think they had a weather incident one time, but they used to do that. They would basically go out and find the most oddball car they could find,
right,
and then give that guy an entry if he would let him run their car in the grudge race. So, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my one Kyle Seipel story. Actually has nothing to do with meeting him at all. Just seeing a video of it, and it was
that's that's the whole draw behind the spring fling was fun, and that was what drew so many people to it. I remembered having a long conversation with Peter over the winter. This was a long time ago during that time, and he was like, we've got to do something because the race is getting too big. And it was like, man, a promoter having a problem like that is unheard of.
Right.
And so that was when they first changed it to they extended it to 5 days or something like that or whatever. But everyone just wanted to go because it was fun. You had a good time.
Right.
They band at night. They had the racing party that Anthony cooked, and it was just a good time. And I'm sure it's still one of the most fun races you can go to. There's so many races now that have kind of taken some of its luster away from it, but it still is some people's favorite race to go to still.
Right.
It speaks volumes for Kyle's character, for Peter's character, to make it fun. That's what was missing out of bracket racing for so long. You just go there, try to win some money and go home. And
right.
A lot of the older guys like me remember the 05 day at West Palm. I ran that, for years, and it was a constant party. and it's like, wow, what happened to those days? And Peter and Kyle pretty much did their best to bring that back.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been fortunate enough to attend one of his races. But I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him, so it must have been a good time.
No, and that was the one thing about Kyle. If you did have a problem, which I had a problem at one of their spring flings, and I addressed it, and he's like, he 100% apologized, and mainly apologized for not realizing the problem. He basically fixed it. So that's the thing. A lot of promoters. I'm not talking. Not saying about anything bad about them, but a lot of them are like, tough crap. Whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah, right.
definitely fix. If you have a problem.
Very cool. What's up, Scotty?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Kids running around, Lena's soccer camp, and it ran late tonight, so I had to pick her up.
Beautiful. We're talking about, I don't know if you know him or have heard of him, but Kyle Seipel.
Heard of him. I don't know him firsthand.
Yeah, that was pretty much my situation too, which is one of the reasons why we asked Jerron to come on tonight, so that we knew that he knew him, so he could enlighten us a little bit on what he's done for the sport, which is, I don't think we could have a long enough show to go on with what he's done for the sport, but it's there's going to be a pretty big hole that is going to need to be filled with him being gone. That's for sure.
It was a rough weekend with losing him and then Mark Markow. I mean, it was just
Yeah, and then we had another very good friend, fan of the show, Marty Reinhardt Jr. lost his business partner, Larry Guest, and he was a hell of a guy too. So,
Yep.
The only thing we can hope for now that it happened is that everything happens in threes, and that's going to be it for a while. But it's been a tough week for the drag racing community. That's for sure.
it was.
Now, I didn't know Markow, but Larry Guest, Marty Reinhardt's been driving that car in Superstock Division 1 for so long. That's
Just
that
sort of
like
forever, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a monument to
Right.
Division 1 Superstock, the Guest and Reinhardt car. So that's definitely something that hits hard for us Northeast guys.
Yep. Yeah. No.
And of course, Mark had, one of the most fast, super stock trucks, and I guess you could say almost, in all the land. And, the guy was almost legendary in the Northeast, with his chassis building skills as well, having a badass truck and, building a lot of really great race cars. He built Tim Dutton's Camaro, right, Scott?
Tim Dutton's Camaro. He has two cars that are being built for our events at Lebanon right now. They're two outlaw cars that are two good friends of mine. And the hardest part is, so we were at my race this weekend, not at my race, at the race that I was at, and I was side by side pitted with Paul Albino that owns Total Induction up in South Windsor. Him and Mark share a shop. Like,
Right.
Mark's on one side, Paul's on the other, and there's a door between the two. Mark builds chassis, Paul wires them. So Paul came up to me at the starting line with tears in his eyes, and one of his closest friends, and I'm like, what's wrong? And then he said, Ips was on Saturday morning, and he said Mark was out riding his side-by-side and had a heart attack and passed away.
Wow.
And we shared a cry, and it was like, because we just saw him on Thursday before we went to the track. It's it's 57 years old. I mean, he's not old.
Nope, not at all.
Just his
wife is I got to know Stephanie and Mark pretty good. I mean, not best friends, but his wife is an amazing person. She's a pediatric nurse.
Yeah.
At one of the children's hospital, and I think it's in Hartford. Just a great group of people right there. You had Al Mark, unfortunately, who passed away a few years ago, had a beautiful 69, I think it was, Stalker Camaro, and it was Al Mark Markow, and Mark LeBrac, where that was a good group of people, and just really sucked that Al passed away a couple of years ago, and then losing Mark. And then Larry Guest, I personally have never met Larry, but I know Steve has probably talked to him at many events. And I've talked to him numerous times on Facebook. And I was actually hoping to get together with him because he lives just outside of DC when we go in August for vacation. But Steve, you've had the opportunity to talk to Larry, have you not?
Oh yeah, several times.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a tough run. I mean, I guess you could call this a little bit of a tribute show. Let's face it, we're all about racing, good and bad. It's kind of like we're going from the high of last week at Lebanon Valley with the live show. The numbers were great. The feedback we got is great. And 1 week later, we're mourning the loss of a couple of racing superstars. Yeah. So, if you run into someone at the track that knows these legends, that is affected by this, shake their hand, give them a high five, and let's not let their memory fade. Let's remember what they did for the sport for us.
Yep, absolutely. So one of the other things that we wanted to touch on that, but obviously we still wanted to talk about a lot of racing stuff too, is Steve was cool enough to come on because our original guest is actually at the funeral service
Right.
for Kyle tonight, and just he's like, I can run back to my hotel real quick. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll get you back on.
We got you covered, dude. Don't even worry about it.
It's one of Jerron's guests anyway, so it's not bad.
Yeah. So
Jerron had to slip him 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take your wheel chalk.
you were the one that was scared he was coming on. So
Who, me?
you.
No,
yeah.
I said I can handle Pete or Jerron one at a time. The two of them together, and I'm a little nervous.
You should.
It makes for a great,
as you should. Yeah.
it makes for an absolutely fantastic show.
Well, the problem with the show is though, now we have two people talking about boring bracket racing instead of just one.
See, I tried, the last time I was on, I tried to.
You weren't nice, Jerron. I love you, but you were not nice.
I was nice to you. I let you explain, why, people that race heads up can't win in any other category. I let you say that,
Well,
I will tell you that just so you know, we want to give Steven some time, so I'm going to kind of settle this real quick.
There you go.
Okay.
Chris and I are privy to the numbers as to who tunes in and who engages. And I got to tell you, the numbers are a lot higher when Jerron and I are making fun of you as opposed to when we're not. So with that being said, Steven, welcome to the show, buddy.
So for those that don't know, this is the world famous master of Division One. Okay, no, yeah, that was the other.
you're pointing at me. You're pointing at me.
No, I'm not. I'm pointing
Yeah,
right
he ain't
here.
the master of nothing.
Now, on my screen, he's to.
Okay, it's the other way at the end.
Hold on.
Right.
Oh, wait, I'm looking at a picture of me pretending to jump into the water. Hold on.
Whatever.
Oh, look at that. Oh, so this is Steven for me.
This is Steve for me.
But right now I'm pointing at Jerron.
That's Steven for me.
This is a disaster.
That's Jerron. That's Scott. That's Pete. That's Steve.
Either way,
Established
throwing
that
up
all my
gang signs?
fingers work.
Are we doing gang signs? Is that what
No,
we're
we're
doing?
doing. This is
throwing
we're
up
gonna
the
do it.
signs.
We're gonna do it the Wayne Del Monte way, the way he started out the live show, doing sign language.
Tie his hands
You
together and
understand
can't
the
talk,
words
right?
that are coming out of my mouth. All right. So, anyways, to my right is my buddy Steve Rhoads. For those that don't know Steve is a now level 2 state of Pennsylvania certified firefighter. Congratulations, Steve. A couple weeks ago,
Congrats on that, my man.
Congratulations.
has been a safety safari member for quite a while.
18 years.
How many?
18.
18.
2003.
A nice cold watch when you hit 20.
I'm out.
You're out.
20, I'm out.
20 you're out. Good swift kick and he's gone. again, does Safety Safari, also is involved in the tech process and in the chassis certification process. So we thought we'd kind of talk a little bit about that. So Steve, why don't you can pick out which one you want to go with first.
Well, you tell me. What do you want to talk about first?
How did you tell us about your first days with NHRA and how you got involved?
So I got involved at a rain out at Maple Grove, of all things.
You don't say. That never happens there.
Oh, they came back. It was 2003. Maple Grove had gotten rained out. They needed some help for the rain date, and I happen to know a few people that are already working on the circuit, and they kind of brought me in, and that's how the whole thing got started. So I actually kind of did the opposite of how things normally go. I actually started working national events first, and then got brought into the division. And now I help Maple Grove, not on a weekly basis, but I'm there a couple times a month, just helping them get through their weekly program and a couple big races. I'll be the official starter this weekend for the big July 4th weekend that they're having there with the 8th mile bracket race. So yeah, that's how I kind of got started in the whole mess.
Excellent. Excellent. So you said you're going on 18 years.
Yeah, this will be my 18th season with NHRA.
Well, if you're going to go out in 20, then you have to give us a rebate for last year. It shouldn't count. So we got you for at least 3 more years, the way I see it.
I'll give you that.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, obviously there's going to be a lot more questions that come your way, but I just wanted to start out with thanking you for making the track and racing a better place, and also thanking you for being a first responder. You are the man, and we all appreciate you more than we'll ever tell you. That's for sure.
I appreciate that. But it's not just me. It's a team effort in Division One. In my opinion, the racers in Division One are very lucky. We have a very diverse and well-trained crew, everywhere from the back of the lanes to the safety truck. All of our guys in the safety truck have either been or are in the fire service. Some are retired chiefs, some are current chiefs. We have several EMTs, paramedics. So the training that Division One has on that end is very extensive. Some people have asked why I haven't been around much this year, and basically that reason is because I've been trying to further my education on the state level as a volunteer firefighter. So I've been doing the firefighter 2 classes, and I'm doing some other stuff on top of that while I maintain my EMT and all that other stuff. I retired as a 911 dispatcher, so I did that for 20 years and then gave that up. So now I'm a government public works employee. So it has its perks, but
Sure.
everyone in the division should be, proud of the team that they have, all the way from Dave down. Everybody works hard, and that's the thing with doubles. Doubles are great, but you're talking, if we're doing a double, that means the crew's arriving on Tuesday, parking on Wednesday, start racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then head home either Sunday night or Monday. So it's a lot of investment. Not everyone is retired, so a lot of us give up our vacation time to do this week in and week out, and that can take a toll. Also, using up all your vacation time for racing. So you just got to moderate it a little bit. So I'm in that moderation zone right now. And even on the technical end, doing chassis, a lot of racers don't understand, mainly because maybe they're not educated, but the chassis inspectors, that's a part-time job for all of us. Nobody is hired full-time to be a chassis inspector. We all do it when we have time, in between events, during the week, after work. I mean, whenever we can fit it in, we try really hard. Now, COVID really hurt us because we got shut down for so many months where we couldn't do anything. So we're playing a big game of catch up. So the only thing I can say is that just give us a chance to get back to you. We're swamped. We're all swamped. And when you add in work and family and travel for races and, other commitments, it gets us even farther behind. So we're all playing catch up. Just got to bear with us. And there's not a lot of us. I think we only have 8 right now in the division. So it's a lot of territory to cover, from Canada all the way down to Virginia. and out to Ohio to try and get to everybody. And, it's tough, but we're doing the best we can.
So I just want to, you said something, and I just want to go over it again for the people all the way in the back that might not understand or it didn't sink in. There are people in your position that use vacation time from their main priority job to come out to the track and race with us and help us.
Correct.
Am I wrong with anything that I just said there?
Nope. And it's just the same as a lot of our racers take vacation time to come out and do what they do. So
Right.
the more efficient we can be, the more efficient the race can run, and the quicker everybody can get back and take care of their obligations and get ready for the next one. But our team, a lot of the members give up a lot of their own personal time to be there, to make sure that it's a safe race and that everybody goes home. Not everybody goes home with all their parts and pieces, but that's what we try and make sure everybody has a safe race. There are some things that are beyond our control. Weather, we can't help the weather. It is
Sure.
but we try and do the best we can to get things rolling. So when people are beating us up, we kind of take it with a grain of salt and know that we're doing the best that we can, and it'll be what it'll be.
The other thing I just wanted to say one more. You guys are doing this, and it's not like you're doing it for $30 an hour.
Oh no, we get paid whatever the minimum wage is in the state we're working. That's what we get paid.
So just to recap real quick, you use your own personal vacation time to come to the track to help us race for whatever that state's minimum wage is. And I'm just going to leave it there because I could go on a big tirade about how you get your balls busted and how people treat you like crap and all that stuff. And I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just going to say personal vacation time away from your family when you could be using the vacation time to spend with your family for minimum wage at whatever state you happen to be working in.
And NHRA does take care of us. If you break it all down, they pay for our travel, they pay for our hotels,
Right.
They give us a stipend for food. So it's not like they're just throwing us out there to the
Sure.
world.
Yeah, and it's not a dig at NHRA by any stretch of the imagination, but I want people to be aware of what you guys go through before you even walk in the front gate.
It's like you're volunteering. It's basically volunteering.
I mean, you gotta first figure out how you're gonna get there, when you're gonna leave, how much time you're gonna take off from work. You gotta get that time approved, right? You gotta make sure that when you come home, your wife isn't gonna kill you, right? I mean, we're spending time away from our kids, our family, this is one of the reasons why, like when we had the guy in charge of contingency for NHRA come on the show, and when we have someone like you come on the show, I love having you people on the show because I want people to know what's going on behind the scenes just to get the show to happen. Never mind what goes on during the show.
There are weeks and weeks of preparation that go into before an event even takes off. All the way from the basic things of just coming up with enough workers to do it, because I don't know if you take notice throughout the years, but you probably see the same faces over and over and over again. There's nobody beating on the door to stand out in the 90-degree heat for 4 days, 16 hours a day.
Sure.
To do this. So that's a struggle that we as a company have too, is trying to recruit new, younger people to get them involved. It's just not there.
And let me add one thing to this too, is I've been lucky. I've known Steve for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years now. We haven't always gotten along, but we've always come out at the end, still being friends.
Yes, sir.
We also spent 6, 7 weeks driving halfway across the country and back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Going from Tennessee to Texas, for like 6 or 7 weeks, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's all we did. Leave on a Saturday morning, get to Tennessee or to Texas that afternoon, hop on a plane out, hop on a plane home. When they go to events in the Northeast, take somebody like Steve, for example, he's not getting on a plane over in Philly and hopping a flight up to Boston. He's driving one of the division trucks. More than likely, he's pulling a trailer along with it. So this isn't always luxury digs either. This is spending another 8 hours, behind the wheel, or even longer when you guys have to go to Canada.
Yep.
Which you must be kind of happy that the border's closed, so you don't have to drive all the way. That's one of those.
Full track though.
Yeah, that's like a 50-50 thing. So again, it's they're not hopping on a corporate jet and flying to great exotic locations in New Hampshire. They're jumping behind the wheel of a 1-ton, pulling a 25-30 foot trailer, fighting traffic, sitting in traffic, just whatever, dealing with the same crap a lot of the racers do: flat tires, breakdowns, whatnot.
Right,
So,
right. Jerron, I cut you off earlier. You got something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say Pete kind of beat me to the buzzer, because I was gonna say the same thing. Years back, being an iTry sponsor, I was kind of privy to being in the tower a lot and seeing behind the scenes, and I got a whole new appreciation for that. And all these racers get want to bust balls and want to piss off at everybody, but they just don't know what these guys have to go through. The planning, the actual just making a decision if it rains, or if weather's coming or whatever. It's I often said it's like being the president. You're gonna make somebody mad no matter what decision you make, and it's
Right.
I feel bad for these guys. You know what I mean? It's and like I said, until you get to see that kind of what Steve does and that behind the scenes stuff, you just don't appreciate it at all. So it definitely needs to be said and needs to be shown a lot more.
I look at it like if you've ever been driving down the road and someone cuts you off, and then you get alongside the person and you're ready to throw up every gang sign you possibly can, and you look over and you see that the person's like 85 years old and can barely see over the steering wheel. And it's like, whatever, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's how I look at this. Right.
Steve, he didn't mean to
you
say
might
he
be
was 80
you
were
might be
85 years
mad
old.
because you asked for 2 parking spaces because someone was
Right.
coming. And
Exactly.
for some reason, Steve couldn't pull it off because he had to get someone else in. And you go over and you're going to rip Steve a new one. Think about his
Absolutely.
vacation time that he took and working for minimum wage. And he's going to be frying out there like a lobster for the next 4 days so that we could spend 8 seconds in a car and then run into our motorhome and get in the air conditioning and have a beer. Think about that before you flip out.
Well, I was, me and you had talked about, wanting doubles everywhere, before, and until he explained that, I was like, why not? Like, why can't we have doubles? But now I'm like, okay, I see why he can,
Right.
So,
right.
like I said, I don't know if there's really another place or time that this information can get to the masses, but this definitely helps. But that's what needs to happen. I've often said, my business, I've turned to more trying to educate my consumers than anything to understand what they're paying for, what's going on. And that's the same thing. Not saying NHRA needs to do that, but maybe they do need to have some more, behind the scenes stuff showing what
Right.
what these guys go through and have to deal with, showing them drive. I mean, I remember at Vegas last year talking to Brad Hardy and those guys in G7, the starter, when they had to leave there and drive all the way back across the country to park the rig, and these guys work all day, and I'm like, you guys are gonna leave now? Like, yeah,
Right.
we're leaving right. Wow.
So
Okay.
a double race to them would be the equivalent of you and I knowing that we have a crazy week coming up. And on Monday morning, we wake up, we're like, oh, this week is going to be hell.
Exactly.
That would be a
That's
double
right.
for them.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if you can relate to that, Jerron. I'm talking more about me.
Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
have a job, so.
Hey, and another thing too, Steve doesn't only work just in Division 1. He's been down, he goes to Division 2. You said you've flown out west.
Yep.
You've pretty much been to just about every race in the country, except for a few.
Yep.
One of the cool things, and I got the opportunity a few years ago in New England, there was a top alcohol dragster that crashed. You know the one I'm talking about, Steve? We had to cut the hoops off.
Yep.
I got the chance to watch him in action. Now, I've done this before in my past life. He had the hoops of that top alcohol dragster cut off, and they had the person secured and removed in pretty much less than about 5 minutes.
Wow.
You know, you guys who race are lucky to have somebody with the skills when he rolls through, you know, that when Steve rolls in.
But I tell you, for somebody
Steve
like
rolls in.
for somebody like me that runs a car who's paralyzed and in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? To get somebody out of a car like that. is just-
Knowing that you have someone like that in your corner is,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they know every time I go to the track, like, all right, this guy's in a wheelchair. So if I buzz the quarter and I go 760s and put it in the wall, at least they know to get out there pretty quick for me, you know?
Like I
You know,
said,
and like I said, it's you got a good set of skills, and you know, a person like Steve to be able to do that. That, you know, get the vehicle there, get the equipment set up, get the, you know, secure the driver, get the hoops cut off, and get him removed as quickly as they did that day. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
and it's a team effort. We're all to the point where we almost don't have to communicate with each other when an incident happens. Everybody knows when they get there what's going to happen, and it just gets done. So we have a very, very good group of people, and I'm proud to work with them because they are an awesome group, and it's definitely a team effort. It's not a one-person show.
Well, as
so
much as-
Steve,
as
we're
much-
going to, I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as much as we are glad to have you, I hope I never need you.
Yeah, exactly. I hope all I have to do is wave to you when you're driving by on your scooter. So we are going to play a game for the very first time on Racing News Network.
Oh, God.
Oh, we are.
Chris and I have thought long and hard about this, and we're going to debut
sure.
it on you.
Oh boy.
So this is a game we're going to call the hot seat. And we have to know, of all the tracks that you've gone to, what's your favorite and why?
That's tough.
That's why it's called the hot seat, Stephen. We don't disappoint.
I would say probably I would say Gainesville is probably my number one track.
Really?
I enjoy going down south. I think Gainesville's a nice facility. A lot of people say Charlotte, but Charlotte's too much asphalt for me. I like a little grass and a little scenery. So I think out of all the places I've been, Gainesville ranks up there pretty good. Second to that would probably be Vegas.
I was actually fortunate enough to go to Vegas once, and it's pretty, it's sitting in the stands and looking around you 360 degrees and seeing that scenery it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Vegas is a cool track, but
Without a
Gainesville, I would go to Gainesville anytime in a heartbeat.
Now, what is a track that's on your bucket list that you haven't been to?
Seattle. I haven't been to Seattle, so hopefully one day I'll make it there.
Jerron, Seattle's a fast track, correct? Isn't it pretty close to sea level?
Yeah,
It's-
pretty close.
Yeah.
Right? Because when they do the West, I don't know what the schedule is post-COVID, but the Western swing was like Denver and then Seattle or Sonoma.
Sonoma, Seattle. It was
Sonoma,
normally Denver,
Seattle.
Sonoma, Seattle, yeah.
The only
It-
two tracks I haven't been to, Seattle and Sonoma. I have all the rest.
Really? On the national tour, those are the only two that you haven't been to.
Correct.
Wow, we're gonna have to start a GoFundMe something to get you out there.
I
That's
can tell
pretty
you,
impressive.
you'll love Sonoma. Sonoma is that's probably one of my favorite tracks now. It's beautiful. It makes no sense why they built it where they built it, but it's beautiful.
Where's in California?
In California.
Is it just electric cars? They don't allow gas?
Leave it to
boy.
Scott to turn it into political.
That's curious.
I'm gonna ignore it.
All right,
Steve,
Steve, well,
talk
that's all I got for you. Take it away, guys.
Talk about a little bit about the beginning of the weekend when you guys have to do the tech stuff. What is your role then? Are you still more so working on prepping the track, or do you get involved in the tech at all?
So right now the tech process is still online, and it's probably going to continue that way. So everybody's filling out their tech card through the online process, which helps us, I think, move things along quicker. Now we're into doing spot checks. So during certain classes, at certain parts of the track, whether it be in the lanes or at the turnoff, we're pulling people over and checking things like helmets, seat belts, ignition boxes, things like that, things that we can quickly review and check. And we find things. We found quite a few things in Lebanon Valley. So everybody thinks that we're not checking. I can at least speak for Division I. We are checking. We're spot checking quite a bit. So,
So you spot check other tracks safety kind of thing?
Classes
so-
their
so-
wheels.
Huh?
We don't have the tech process like it used to, where you brought your tech card and your car up, and then we went through your car right in front of you.
Right.
Now everybody pre-fills out their tech stuff online, and then we're just spot checking throughout the weekend.
Okay.
What
Pretty
is
much
the,
makes sense.
what's the penalty?
The penalty of the first time is a warning, and then after that, it's up to the division director to dish that kind of stuff out. We find an issue, we report it, and then it's left up to him to take care of it. People forget things, seatbelt
Right,
run out, things like that. It happens. So I don't think anybody truly does it intentional sometimes. But we do find things. We found dragsters coming down with expired chassis certifications, and bad belts and bad helmets, and holes in gloves, things like that. And
Sure.
it's not that we're trying to nitpick anybody, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you go home to your family. So that's our goal. If we know you're going down the track safe, then we did our job. But my role right now, I'm pretty much I'll spot check if I'm asked to. I'm on the safety truck. I'm on the quad. I'm in the lanes helping them pair cars. I pretty much go wherever Dave needs me. Whatever he needs done, check the track, clean up oil, do this, do that. I'm pretty much versatile, and they just send me where I need to go, and I just get it done.
Are there people in your crew that have assigned jobs that every week, whenever they go, that's what they're doing?
Yes.
Or are they all, is it all a bag of tricks like what you do? You're kind of wherever you're needed, you go.
No, most people have an assignment for the weekend, and that's where they stay. We have a couple people that are cross-trained on certain things, and I'm just fortunate enough that I've been around and been trained in multiple spots that I can just be thrown wherever I'm needed. And that's true on the national event tour. I mean, they can throw me pretty much anywhere they need me, and they'll know the job gets done. That helps me because, I'm not limited to being stuck in one place for 4 days. I can move around, jump around, and do different things. So that can be good, that can be bad.
It's never going to be boring though, is it?
Oh, it's never boring.
We need buzzers.
Yeah. Speak up, hold that mic in front of your mouth, will you?
No, I don't even want to talk anymore.
Go ahead, Jerron.
Jerron, do you have a question for Stephen?
No, I was just gonna say I actually like the no tech because, like you said, it kind of moves the program along more. And I think, especially on the national level, if you've got enough grade points to get into the national event, your car is pretty much ready to go. You're not going to need to sit there and check a dry shaft hoop or whatever. So I definitely agree with that. I know a lot of guys were kind of mad at the whole online tech guy. I think it was just kind of 85-year-old guys like you, Pete, that were complaining. But,
Exactly.
I commend them for doing that. And I can say running Division 5, 6, and 7 the last couple of years, they're spot checking too. They're spot check. I got spot checked at the Vegas National this year. I got spot checked at Denver last week. So they are checking. Sometimes it doesn't seem as random because like at Vegas, they pretty much check every car in the staging lane. But I don't mind it at all. I like it better than having to fill out a tech card and then drive over to the trailer and sit in line and all that. I think that's it was needed basically.
There's nothing worse than having to go through the tech line when we raced at Englishtown, and you weren't allowed to start anything up until 10 o'clock. And you had that long line of people towing and then trying to turn around. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was rough.
Oh, at the shack, at the shack right near the airport, like where the planes.
No, they would do it in the staging lanes, but the problem is the row, it would get backed up so far that it would go right up one of the rows where
Yeah.
people were parked. So you're parked like this, and you have two full-blown lines of cars that can't start. And God forbid you want to get out of your trailer to put it next to your trailer or get out to get into the tech line.
Right.
It was an adventure. to say
They
the
don't.
least.
They don't have that. They don't have that many cars at your races, Scotty. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. When there's only 8 cars, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, here we go. We're gonna get all the numbers. Here they come.
I got nothing to say because you all know the truth, so it doesn't matter.
All right, Stephen, on a personal note, real quick, are you gonna be in the media?
Yes.
Okay, my chassis certification's expired.
Oh, geez.
Any way in the world I could get that done on Wednesday or first thing Thursday morning?
Absolutely.
This is not the time nor place to be, greasing somebody's pockets.
I agree with you, Jerron. I agree, Pete.
But
Chris,
now, Steve,
you're in charge of the mute buttons, right? Give him a little.
But hey, Steve, since we're greasing pockets, about these best appearing awards that you guys picked, whose pockets I gotta? No, I'm just kidding.
I see. Here's the issue. Now, you know what, Stephen? You could actually help us with this because a lot of people don't know it. In order for you to get a best appearing or a best engineering award, don't you have to talk to someone and tell them that you'd like to be considered for it?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I think not cutting you off, Steve, but yeah, I don't I think years ago and you had to kind of say something, but now I feel like if your car is that radical, they're gonna notice it. You look at
All this time, Pete thought his car should have won, but he just didn't want to say anything and win every year.
Well, my biggest issue was I won at a national event. So I kind of feel bad, although I would love to have one for a divisional too, so I could just say I have both.
Oh,
But it's such an honor to win it that to me,
yeah.
I won it at Englishtown and it was the last best appearing award that they had there before
that
the
year.
track closed. That
Right.
yeah, I would love to get Jerron a best appearing because my car looks awesome after the work he did to it. But
I think that it doesn't hurt to say something for sure, but I don't think I don't know. I feel like a lot of my cars should have won by now, but they haven't. So I'll blame Steve. But no.
Hey, Jerron, can you turn that picture a little bit? It's not straight. The one behind you.
aren't you in a hotel room?
Better.
Who cares? Yeah.
No, I know. I'm actually at home, by the way. For the
Wow,
first
Yeah,
time.
see, the picture's got to move a little.
Did you have to get directions on how to get back there?
Oh my God.
What's funny is I have a key code on the door and when I got home I was like I couldn't remember the code, but I remembered the direction that
The
you
pattern,
gave.
yeah.
Okay, that's it.
That's funny.
So Pete,
I'll be-
if you want best appearing, you'll have to hit up some of our photographers because they're the ones that kind of work together as a team to come up with the best appearing for the weekend.
So you mean to tell me that I've been kissing your ass all this time and it's not
Exactly.
going to do me any good?
Not gonna do you-
Somebody get Diane on the phone.
Yeah, really.
It might get you a chassis cert, but not a best appearance.
Pete,
Yeah.
if we're gonna kiss ass, we're gonna kiss ass to make a swing out legal for a 25.5 for people in wheelchairs.
Ooh. No, I took care of that.
All right.
Yeah.
So that leads me into Steve. Talk a little bit about chassis certifications while I can get a word in.
Other than what I touched on already, it's just a process. Like I said, there's only 8 of us in the division, and it's every 3 years for a sportsman car. It's every year for pro mod alcohol, and we're jammed. So the best thing is get it done at an event. Number one, it saves you money and it saves us time. So if you can hold off to one of our races and get it done there, we always have somebody, at least one person at every event to take care of the racers, at a race.
But what happens to the non-divisionals?
So if it's a non,
Like you have Bob in Pennsylvania, you know what I mean? You got and stuff like that. So is that the best way to reach out to them first?
yeah, all our information's on the D1 website. Find the one that's closest to you and give them a shout. Give them some time to get back to you. If they don't get back to you within like 6 hours. Don't panic, give them a day or two because they might be working, they might be on vacation, they might be out of town. It's just, give us a little time to get back to you because it's
Jerron's fixed the picture.
It's bugging me.
Now your head's crooked.
All right, now, Jerron, move that way just a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go, back that way a little bit.
There you
All
go.
right,
Perfect.
don't move. Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
We still do house calls. We'll still come out to your house, your garage, or whatever. It's more efficient if you have like 5 or 6 buddies that need it done. Get everybody together and we can meet at like a shopping center parking lot and just knock them all out. For the people down my way, I'll meet anybody at Maple Grove at any time. I'll meet them off the turnpike there at the exit if they happen to be going, east or west on the turnpike. Maple Grove's a nice meeting spot, lots of room to turn around and, do your thing. So, we can make it happen as long as everybody works with us and they're reasonable.
Fair enough. So with the border still being closed and the National Open up at Miramichi, how the hell is that going to work for you guys?
So we do have some people in Canada that know our program and know how it works. So I know last year they took care of it on their end. I know this year we pushed the Naperville one back, or Toronto. One of them one of them we pushed back, hoping that the border will be open. The one in Miramichi is going to take place whether we can cross or not. You're talking, it's another, I think, 10 hours from Epping. So it's a long haul. So I know that one's going to happen whether we go up there or not. Basically, it's just a big bracket race. So it's not too difficult to figure out how to run. And they run other series up there. So with just a little bit of guidance from Dave, they can get the job done with no problem. So that race won't be an issue, but we're really hoping we can sneak across to take care of some of the other events, Toronto and Naperville and get those knocked out. Cause whether you like it or hate it, I think Naperville's a really cool little track and I miss going up there.
Hey, Steve, I got a question.
Naperville's only another 3 hours north of me. So that's about a 4-hour drive from New England for you guys.
I had a dragster that I sold to a guy in Canada, and I met him at Naperville Dragway. That's my one Canadian story.
So now that you're finished telling Canadian story, Steve, I got a question. It's kind of a 2-part question. Do you guys still bring in volunteers for the Nationals as far as safety safari? And 2, how many more people do you guys bring in for like the 4-wides? I noticed at Vegas there was like 1,000 safety safari guys team.
So as far as volunteers on the safety safari end of it, no volunteers. Everybody has to be paid staff. I believe marketing still uses volunteers at times, for Balloon Land and things like that. The 4-wides, it's usually double the crew. So if you figure, 7 guys per safety truck, so there's 3 of those, so that's 21 people. So double that, and that's pretty much what they're bringing to a 4-wide.
And all of those are full-time guys?
No, most of those are part-time. The only full-time guys are the regular, full-timers that run the circuit all year. What's good about Charlotte and even Vegas is because there's NASCAR tracks there, a lot of their NASCAR guys will just come over and work with us because safety training is pretty much the same. It's just the cars that are different. So it's pretty easy to cross-train them and have them come work with us. So those tracks have the staff to do it.
I got you. Okay.
But yeah, it's usually double the staff for a 4-wide.
Okay. I just know it just seems like there's 200 yellow shirts running around out there at those races.
The 4-wide's definitely, more personnel because it would just kill everybody to have to hop back and forth between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 all the time. And then, what do you do when you're running 4-wide and you have a crash in 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 and 4? So they just double up the staff and double up the safety trucks and, everybody's got their lane assignments and that's how we roll.
I like it.
Now, you got involved in some NASCAR stuff a few years ago too, up at Pocono, didn't you?
I did. I went through the NASCAR training for Pocono, and then COVID hit. So they cut back on their staff last year. So I did not go to Pocono. And then this year, just with the way the schedule fell and everything that I had going on the personal end of things, it wasn't a fit because it was a double race weekend up there this weekend. So their safety guys actually started Thursday. So they're there Thursday, race Friday, double race Saturday, double race Sunday. So it was just, that's a long weekend.
Right.
I opted out of that one for this year.
So for the rest of the year, we'll see you at New Media, New England, Maple Grove,
Cecil, and hopefully Virginia.
Virginia.
Virginia. Cool.
What about
And then-
national?
National events, probably just going to be the Maple Grove National at this point. I don't have enough time this year to travel like years past. So kind of taking a little bit of a break.
Well, very good, gentlemen. Steve, thank you for your time, buddy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you in August at
That's-
New England.
That's
Thanks
what-
for all you do, Steve.
Thank you. Everybody stay safe out there.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, Steve.
Steven, thanks for coming on, buddy. We appreciate you.
Anytime, Pete.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, have a good night, Steve. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right, Steve Rhoads, NHRA Division I, safety extraordinaire man right there. Flipping his little
So we-
camera thing down.
So we
Awesome guy.
we unfortunately had to get rid of a good guy. Can't we get rid of Scotty now?
I think I can delete him. Let me see. Hang on.
Jerron, your forehead has a lot of shine.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
when
hey.
when you,
Really?
yeah,
Pete,
exactly.
between yours and Pete's and Chris, the three of you.
Yeah, that's right. Actually,
Yeah,
you're
take
the only one
your
that has
hat
a
off.
screwed up head. You
Take
gotta wear
your
a
hat
hat.
off.
I got a head of hair.
Yeah, at least you got a quarter shine. You know.
Yeah,
at least-
you're up to at
You know,
least
the
a 5 head
difference
there,
is-
bro.
You
The
look like a
difference is-
friggin' rooster, though.
the
What
You
do
ain't
you-
lying. My
three
wife
of
told
us-
me it. My
you
wife
could
told
have
me
hair.
it.
Take that off again. What was? Did you stick your
You
finger?
may
in light
have
bulb?
hair, but we make this look good. Unlike
That's
you.
right.
Exactly.
My wife said I got a big bouffant, whatever that is.
It's
Yeah,
an
you got
Italian
a
thing.
big font, all right.
An Italian thing.
So, real quick before we wrap up, just a quick, obviously, rest in peace, Mark Markow, Larry Guest, and Kyle Seipel.
Yep.
This show's for you guys. Thanks for everything that you've done, and we'll do our best to keep the memory alive, no doubt.
Yeah.
Very quickly, let me find.
Oh wait, I had a race this weekend.
No one cares. Look, everybody just tuned off as soon as you said that. The numbers dropped to like 3 people.
Do you ever notice when you guys go to race at a track, everybody leaves the stands when it's your turn to come up?
No, last weekend at Denver, there was a ton of people watching. It's just in the area that you raced, they must feel sorry for you. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see any TV shows with like your kind of racing on, so I don't know.
No, there's a few. There's a few.
All right, you had a race this weekend, Scott. You got
Well-
30 seconds. Go.
Well, my buddy Ed that I tuned his chassis and motor, he won his class. We ran a new best this weekend. Manny Bojingo won the outlaw class with his 275 car. Yeah, his 275 with no bars that goes 360s.
What class did Ed run in?
Extreme Street.
Extreme Street. And what
Oh,
is that?
You had to push. It's basically all steel, all glass. His car is 3,320 pounds. What, Chris?
No, I was trying to keep Jerron awake.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my God.
So, all right. So,
The day that Jerron gets in a door car that goes 360s on a 275 with no bars, he will crap his pants. Period. End
What's
of
the
story.
60 foot?
Yeah.
He goes. What he goes.
110.
He goes 960 on a 275. On a 275.
who went 960?
The tire doesn't.
And no, when Manny's car, Bujinga, his car, when he goes, his best has been 960. It went
It's impressive.
361 at 202 in the
Yeah,
eight.
that's it. that's impressive, but a 960 doesn't feel any different on a big tire or a small tire. It's impressive. I'll give it.
The difference is dragsters drive themselves.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Wow.
I will say,
We'll have to see if we can put a swing out sidebar and a dragster so we can get them in there.
no, because even like Gary Gonzalez's wife Danielle, she ran PDRA top dragster this weekend. She went 434. She went 101 60 foot. She said it's way easier to drive that than to drive Gary's X275 car that went.
There's no question about that. It's all in the wheelbase.
Right, exactly.
I took the motor out of my Vega that I went 825 at 161 in and almost killed myself. And I took that motor out and I put it in a 235-inch dragster and I could let go of the steering wheel at 750.
That's so crazy, right?
If you know how suspension works, then you understand that. I mean, it's pretty much a lever.
I know what it is.
When a dragster pulls from back here, your car's all right, whatever. Big deal.
So, but that's a shout out to PDRA. She qualified for top dragster. So that was her first race up in the Northeast with her new dragster. So she was excited.
PDRA is doing big things. They're giving a lot of people a place to race with fast cars.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But that was it. It was a great weekend. It was a somber weekend, as you know. But
listen, at the end of the day, we give you a hard time, but as the members of this show, all we care about is that people have a place to go do their thing.
Yeah.
Regardless as to what kind of thing it is.
And I was supposed to go test on Friday, but my one of the flex couplers on my hot side on the two-step when we were testing Thursday, it cracked, so I couldn't test the car.
Did you say your flux capacitor? What'd you say? No, seriously, what did you say?
Flux capacitor.
It's a flex coupler on the hot side for a turbo.
Flex coupler. Okay, talk a little slower next time. Flex coupler. I got you. I was like, dude, he's trying to hit 88 miles an hour. Like,
listen, on a 275, you got to do what you got to do.
You do.
It's the Iranians. They found us.
Oh, good God.
Good. So, before we get out of here, the viewing for Mark Markow will be Thursday the 1st, from 2 to 4 at, I'm going to say it's the Aesop Funeral Home, 185 Spruce Street in Weathersfield, Connecticut. It's D''ESOP Funeral Home.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'll be there.
Yep.
It's gonna suck.
If it wasn't 3 hours away, I'd go. But
I'll give our condolences from the crew on here. That's all.
Please do.
tell Stephanie if you see her that
I will.
Chris and Tanya said very, very sorry.
I will.
Who do we have for a guest next week, homie?
Next week we have, and I think Jerron's gonna try to join us again if his schedule allows. We have
Seriously?
joining us.
Trying to take your spot. Oh, did I say it out loud? Damn. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
told you, only text that to me.
You'll lose 2/3 of your audience, so that's okay.
Oh, boy.
You said lose 2 to 3 people? Yeah, no, I get it. Probably mixed that up.
But Craig Sullivan.
They watch just to watch Pete break my chops. I mean, that's what. If I'm gone, there's nothing to watch.
No, I got you. We're not getting rid of you. I'm not trying to take your job. I don't no. I'm good.
It's a pay reduction.
Yeah. I do like having fun with you guys. It's
Hi, Bree.
Okay, so one more time.
Craig-
Who are you saying
Craig
hi to?
Sullivan.
I thought I heard your wife.
That's my fish tank back there, bro. What? Okay, so who are we having out for next week?
Craig
the
Sullivan's
flex
going to be joining us. Jerron, real quick, why don't you hit on a little Craig Sullivan factoids?
Craig Sullivan.
Sorry.
Better.
Am I back? Okay, somebody tried to call me. Craig, I call him Craig Mack. Craig basically is one of the most colorful guys out in big tire heads up racing. he doesn't try to do it on 275. He just says, you know what, we're gonna put a big tire on this thing, go fast. But he
Did you race a class drum? Is it a class or like pro mod or?
Pro mod. Yeah, he runs NMCA Pro mod. I believe it's NMCA. There's so many pro mod classes, but yeah. But he ran super stock years ago. He ran top dragster. He's
Is he from Michigan or something? Michigan or?
no, Indiana. He's from,
Okay.
he lives
Yep.
right outside of Brownsburg.
Yep.
But he's kind of famous for that like 8th mile wheel stand and a top dragster at Virginia and PDRS years back. And then most famous for the Superbird barn find pro mod car. And then he is debuting his new car, which I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a very, very, very cool car. Yeah, he's exciting guy. I party with him a lot. He loves to party, and it'll be interesting conversation.
If I remember correctly, he debuted the barn find car at PRI in, I think it was 2017.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yep.
That was a badass car, and he sold it.
Yeah. So now, yeah, he has a new car, and I'll just say the theme is, no, I won't even say what the theme is because he might not want that out there, but it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, very cool. He'll be joining us next week, and rest in peace, Larry Guest, Kyle Seipel, Mark Markow. I guess
Thanks
that's
for
about
having
it.
me on.
Yeah, Jerron, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you next week. Like I said, if your schedule works out well. Pete, I actually got something I need to talk to you about. I'll give you a quick call after if that's all right.
You got it.
And Scotty, we'll talk to you soon. Buddy, thank you for the t-shirts, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got them, buddy.
Yep, Santo liked it. Mine's in the wash.
Awesome.
So,
Good stuff.
cool, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Steve Rhoads, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Coming on, talk about everything to do with chassis certification. And, of course, the racer's favorite, the safety safari guys. So, have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
See
everybody.
you guys.
Scotty Wheels Racing is a veteran-owned and operated company that specializes in performance parts, installation, and tuning. They can build and design your chassis right at their shop in Hamden, Connecticut. They offer track and remote tuning for your electronic fuel injection and chassis. They are your one-stop shop, including brakes and suspension, chassis, engine parts, fuel systems, turbos, and accessories. They not only sell it, they race it on their own in-house race car. Be sure to check out their website at www.scottywheels.com or give them a call at 203-500-5995.
All right, everybody, we will be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern with our guest, Craig Sullivan. Thank you again to Steve Rhoads, Jerron Settles, Pete Senka, Scotty McDonald, and Larry Guest, Kyle Seipel, Mark Markow. Rest in peace, people. You will be missed.